Hey everybody, welcome back to High Point. How are we doing on this fantastic, amazing, wonderful day that God has made for us? Wow, you guys are doing great today. That makes my heart happy. Are you guys ready for another great adventure? Me too. But before we get started with one, I'd like to tell you the point. The point this week is, life's not fair and I don't care because I have patience. Can you say that with me? Let's try it together. I'll say it a little slower and you repeat after me and then we'll try it together, okay? Perfect. Life's not fair and I don't care because I have patience. Good job, guys. So now we'll say it together, normal speed, on the count of 3. Are you ready? 1, 2, French toast. Life's not fair and I don't care because I have patience. You guys are starting to pick up pretty good. You figured out that French toast is 3. I'm really proud of you guys. You make me happy. Let's say that one more time, because it's really important, guys. Life's not fair, and I don't care, because I have patience. Guys, do you have patience? Sometimes I have patience, but not as often as I should. I think that we should probably, because we know the point now, learn what our life verse is for this unit. See, our life verse is, but if we hope for what we do not yet have, we wait for it patiently. It's from Romans 8:25. Will you say it with me? Again, I'll say it a little slower and you can just repeat after me for this time, okay? But if we hope for what we do not have, we wait for it patiently. Romans 8:25. Wow, guys, you are really on top of things today. I am super excited because we've got this great story. But before we get to it, I want to tell you, in life, guys, patience makes our whole life better. It's like getting a great prize because patience makes our lives better. See, our Bible hero that we're going to talk about had to have a lot of patience. His name was Abraham, and maybe you've heard about him before. But he had to wait and wait and wait and wait. That's a lot of waiting, guys. I know when I have to wait really long time, sometimes I don't have patience and I might get a little upset. Maybe you're like that too. Let's see how our Bible hero Abraham dealt with having to wait that long. But I need you guys to help me with this story. Will you help me today? I really can't do it without you. Oh, I'm so glad that you said yes. Well, here's what we're going to do. Whenever you hear the word wait, I want you to sigh. Okay, let's practice it together. Wait. Wow, you guys are really good at sighing. I'm sure the moms and dads love that. Maybe not. But sometimes I'm going to ask during this story what a person should do. You're going to answer by saying, be patient. Okay, let's practice that one. Should you interrupt your mom when she's talking? Be patient. Good job, guys. I know moms and dads like that one a lot better than the sign. All right, are you ready? So when you hear wait, what are you going to... Oh, you already sighed. Good job. And when I ask what someone should do, what should you... Wow, you guys are really fast today. Be patient. That's correct. Okay, let's get started. Like I said, Abraham had to wait on God. Wow, good job with the sighing. Let's find out a little bit about Abraham. See, Abraham had a wife named Sarah. They lived in a place called Ur. That's in the modern-day country of Iraq. Abraham and Sarah, they didn't have any kids. I'm sure that Abraham and Sarah waited. Good job, you guys. I'm sure they waited for their first son or daughter to be born. That's a lot of waiting. What should Abraham and Sarah do? Awesome job, guys. You're right. They should be patient. They should be patient. Well, after Abraham and Sarah waited a long time, for a baby, they realized something that was really, really sad. See, they couldn't have any children. How do you think that made Abraham and Sarah feel? Yeah, sad, maybe a little angry, hurt. You're absolutely right, guys. It was sad that Abraham and Sarah didn't have any children and that they couldn't have any of their own. Think about how quiet their house must have been without kids playing and laughing. But even though Sarah and Abraham had no children, they did not live all by themselves. See, they lived with Abraham's father and his brother and his nephew. They all had servants and animals too. I mean, it was a very full house. That's a show. Anyway, it was really, really full. It wasn't like it was absolutely quiet. And then one day, out of the blue, Abraham's father decided to move from Ur. Well, Abraham and Sarah and Abraham's nephew, who was named Lot, they all moved too. What do we do when we move today? Maybe you've moved before. You can tell me. What do we do when we move? Yes, we absolutely pack up. We put all of our things in and we pack them up. Yep, put them in what? In boxes. Good job. Yes. Maybe we put them in suitcases. Absolutely. What do we do after we've packed up everything? Where do we put all those boxes and suitcases? Yes, we put them in maybe our car or a van, or maybe we get a big moving truck. Absolutely, you guys, that's where we put our stuff. Well, when we move, we pack everything up and we put it in that van or that truck, and we drive, maybe we're moving to a brand new town, so we drive for a day or maybe 2 or 3 till we get to our new home. But Abraham's family, guys, they didn't have vans or trucks. Yeah, they wouldn't have worked very well anyway. They didn't have any. They only had camels, donkeys, and their own 2 feet. So they had to pack up everything that they owned, put it on camels and donkeys and their own backs, and then they had to walk. How would you like that? That's a lot of walking, isn't it? Well, guys, they couldn't just move in a couple of days like we can. In fact, it probably took Abraham's family weeks or maybe even months to get to their new home. See, Abraham and Sarah had to wait, good job with the sighing, to see their brand new home. But during that time, what should Abraham be doing? Yes, he should be patient. Absolutely, guys. So, I have a question for you. Have you ever gone on a camping trip? Maybe you went and stayed in a tent or a camper. That can be a lot of fun. I love to go camping. It's one of my favorite things in the world, to pitch a tent and sleep out under the stars and cook my breakfast out over a fire. It's one of my favorite things, and maybe you've done it too. I want you, if you've ever gone on a camping trip, to imagine the longest camping trip you've ever heard of. Yeah, I know a couple of people that go for like 2 weeks. They go up to the Boundary Waters. That's a pretty long time, isn't it? Well, this trip that Abraham and his family took was a lot longer than 2 weeks, and they had to keep moving from camp to camp to camp to camp. They just kept moving all these different camps. That's a really hard way to travel. Would you enjoy taking that long to get to your new home? No, I don't think any of us would. Maybe a couple, but I know I wouldn't. That wouldn't be fun at all. Do you think we would need to practice patience? Oh, yes. Most definitely. But at last, they came to their new home called Haran. I've heard it pronounced both ways. Abraham and Sarah and Abraham's father and his nephew Lot, they lived there for years. In fact, they lived there until Abraham's father died. After Abraham's father died, God, our wonderful God, came and he talked to Abraham and he said, Abraham, I want you to move to a new place. But you're going to have to start the trip first and then you're going to have to wait. You guys are sighing so great. God said, you're going to have to start the trip and then you're going to have to wait for me to tell you where you're going. What? Do you guys think, what do you think Abraham should do? Yes, he should be patient. God also told Abraham something else. He told Abraham that someday he would make Abraham's family into a great nation. But how could a nation come from Abraham's family? Because Abraham and Sarah didn't even have any children, and they couldn't have children unless God healed Sarah. Well, Abraham, he loved God with all of his heart, just like we do. With all of his heart, he loved God. So even though Abraham didn't know where God wanted him to go, he trusted God, and he moved. He would wait, good job, to hear from God about where he should go. What should Abraham do during this time? Be patient, that's right. Imagine, think about this, guys. Imagine that one day your parents, they suddenly tell you, hey, go get in the car because we're going to move to a great new place. But they don't tell you where that is. Only that it's going to be really cool. So you get in the car and they drive. And they drive. And they keep driving. And your parents still don't tell you where you're going. So you wait. And wait. And wait. Guys, that's a lot of waiting. Have any of you ever moved to a new town or a new state? I know I have. Not a new state, but a new town. How do you feel when you move to a new town or a new state? Yeah, we can feel sad about leaving our friends and our favorite places or our old house. Do you think that Abraham was sad to leave his house, his old home? Yeah, he probably was a little bit. But what should he do? That's right, he should be patient. And that's exactly what Abraham did. See, he chose to be patient as he moved until he came to the very right place. So he just kept going. And he was patient. He didn't get angry. He didn't stomp his feet or throw a tantrum. He just waited. Good job. He had patience, guys. Do you think that Sarah and Lot and the other people with Abraham had to wait? Yeah, they did. What did Sarah and Lot and the rest of the people traveling with Abraham have to do? Yeah, they needed to be patient too. It wasn't just Abraham that needed to be patient. So Abraham moved and moved until he came to the land that was called Canaan. That is where God spoke to him again. In fact, God appeared to Abraham and he said, okay, Abraham, I'm going to give you and your descendants all this land. The whole thing. The whole enchilada. It's all going to be for your descendants. But what's a descendant? No, it's not that movie on the Disney Channel with the girl with the purple hair. I guess technically it's that because that's the name of the show. But what are descendants? I heard somebody say children, yes. And grandchildren, perfect. What about great-grandchildren? Are those descendants? Yes, they are. What about great-great-grandchildren or great-great-great-grandchildren? Or we could just keep adding greats. It means all the way down the line. Those are descendants. And God said he was going to give all of that land, the whole enchilada, to Abraham's descendants. But did Abraham have any children? No. No, he didn't have any children at all. See, even though Abraham didn't have one child, he still believed God. He knew that God could do anything, and so he chose to believe God. He built an altar, and he thanked God for the gift of Canaan as a home for his family someday. Well, at least Abraham didn't have to be patient about one thing. He didn't have to be patient about finding his new home. Abraham had finished waiting, and now he knew exactly where he was supposed to move. God had promised the land of Canaan to his family. But wait, hold on. Does Abraham have one son or one daughter? No. No, he doesn't. So how is God going to give Canaan to Abraham's family if Abraham doesn't even have a kid? I guess Abraham is still going to have to wait. He's going to have to wait for his family. What should he do during this time? Yes, he needs to be patient. Just like he was patient while they were moving, he needs to be patient while waiting for his family. And that is, guys, exactly what Abraham is going to do. See, he's going to wait because he knows that God always, and I'm going to say this again because this is super important, God always keeps his promises. And because God always keeps his promises, Abraham decided to wait with patience. What should Abraham do during this time? You guys are so awesome. Yes, he needs to be patient. I really am happy that you guys helped me with the story today, but now you don't have to say be patient or sigh anymore. You can just listen. Because I got some questions for you. Do you think that it was easy for Abraham to be patient? No, I don't think being patient is ever easy. It's definitely not something that we are naturally good at, is it? No, not really. Abraham, guys, he was just like us, which means that waiting patiently wasn't always easy. But Abraham did some things to be patient that you and I can do to help us be patient too. See, first, Abraham obeyed God. He listened to God, and he did what God told him. When we have to wait, we can be patient by trusting God also. We can obey him. So when we're waiting, we can trust and listen to and do what God says. That means we don't do or say mean or angry things because we have to wait. It means we don't disobey our parents or teachers if they tell us to wait. So if they tell us to wait, instead of getting angry or stomping our feet or throwing a tantrum or yelling or saying mean things, we can trust God and we can obey him. And God says for us to obey and listen to our parents. Second thing that he did was Abraham believed and worshiped God. He believed God's promises that he would see a family, that he would have a family someday. He built an altar and he worshiped God there. Abraham, he kept a good attitude. Oh, we've talked about good attitudes before. He kept a good attitude toward God, even when God made him wait. You and me, we can keep a good attitude towards God too, or our parents, or our teachers, and friends, and everyone else. Even when we have to wait, we can choose to still have that good attitude. There are a lot of times, guys, when we have to wait. It's just a part of life. We really don't have any choice in it at all. I mean, Christmas isn't going to come any sooner just because we want it to. The car can't go any faster to take us to the amusement park. It just can't happen. But being patient is always the very best way for us to wait. So with that being the case, I think we should say our point one more time, because it's a great point, and I hope that you practice it all week. Are you ready? Life's not fair, and I don't care because I have patience. I think that that's a really, really good thing to remember, guys. Life's not fair, but we don't have to be upset about it. We can have patience. Right now, I think we should pray, and we should ask God to help us have patience when we have to wait. Will you pray with me? Perfect. Dear God, we know that waiting is never easy. It's not easy to wait for the things that we really want. Help us to be like Abraham and learn to be patient and to wait patiently without fussing or grumbling or angering people or being mean. We thank you that you can give us patience. And we ask you to give it to us and help us to grow in it today. In Jesus' name, amen. Guys, I really want to say thank you for coming to High Point. I absolutely love seeing you guys and getting to chat with you and teach you a little bit. It really is the thing that makes me the most excited. And I really am glad that you were here to hear about Abraham. And I hope that this week you'll remember to be patient like Abraham. One way that we can keep helping ourselves be patient is to remember our big life verse. Do you remember it? Let's say it together, okay? We'll do it right before we leave here. But if we hope for what we do not yet have, we wait for it patiently. Romans 8:25. Guys, I had a great amount of fun, like a ton of fun on this adventure, and I really, really hope that you will come and see me the next time so we can learn a little bit more about patience through our friend Abraham. But until then, I hope that you practice being patient all week. I hope that you pray, when you say your prayers at night, that you ask God, God, please help me grow in patience. And more than anything else, I hope that you never, ever, ever forget that you are loved so much more than you can ever know by God and by us. I will see you the very next time here at High Point. Bye.